in this video, it's the one you've all been waiting for. It's a whole mess of quadratic solving. So let's go ahead, let's jump right in. Let's take a look at number 1 here. We're going to go ahead and we are going to solve 5x squared. Let's just get this recentered a little bit better there. Alright, we're going to solve 5 times x squared plus 2 is equal to 11x. Now, unless I have just x squared by itself, and I don't, I've got two terms with an x in them, this quadratic term right here, and then this linear term. I got to get this in standard form. So let's get this in standard form. I'm going to do that by subtracting 11x from both sides. We'll have 5x squared minus 11x plus 2, and that's equal to 0. Okay, I've already started thinking, and you know what? 5 times 2 is 10. And I know that if I take a negative 1 and I add it to a negative 10, I'm going to get negative 11. So I'm going to factor this by grouping. I'm going to use the AC method, and I'll have 5x squared minus x minus 10x plus 2 is equal to 0. Alright, let's pick apart these front two into x times the quantity 5x minus 1. Then we're going to pick apart these rear two right here. I'm going to subtract 2, and when we pull out that negative 2, negative 10 divided by negative 2 is a positive 5, so we've got 5x. 2 divided by a negative 2 is a negative 1, so we've got 5x minus 1. Great. And this is going to factor into x minus 2 times 5x minus 1, and that's equal to 0. X minus 2 has the solution x is equal to 2. 5x minus 1, that gives us the solution. Let's see here. 5x will be a positive 1, so x will be 1/5. So we'll have x is equal to 2, or 1/5. Why did I decide to factor? Well, simply because I looked at it right here and I said, I got this. Because I saw that factorization, I saw the 5, the 2, and then I said they're 10, and I knew how to split this apart and then add it together to sum to 11. I saw that looking at this, I said, yeah, I can factor this. If I hadn't have seen that factorization right away, then it would have been quadratic formula time. Meanwhile, number 2 over here, what we have is 3x squared minus 27 is equal to 0. Now, I'm not sure if you heard that, so I'm going to say it again. 3x squared minus 27 is equal to 0. What are we listening for? I only said x once. There's only one term right here with an x in it. So I'm just going to use the square root to solve. That means I toss 27 over to the other side. So we'll have 3x squared is equal to 27. Then we're going to go ahead and divide everything by 3. X squared is equal to 9. Lastly, we take the square root of both sides. X is equal to, and we'll write it all pretty, the set of 3 or negative 3, right? The square root of 9. Let's fix that 3 a little bit. Great. That's 2 problems down. Let's take a look at some more. 2x plus 7 quantity squared is equal to 25. Once again, there's only one x just sitting in here inside this squared. So we're going to use the square root to solve, just like that previous one. Let's take the square root of both sides of this equation. So that's the square root of the quantity 2x plus 7 quantity squared is equal to the square root of 25. 2x plus 7 is equal to plus or minus 5. So 2x is going to be equal to plus or minus 5 minus 7. So we take our positive case, plus 5 minus 7, and plus 5 minus 7 is a negative 2. We take our negative case, that's minus 5 minus 7, and that's a negative 12. So we have 2x is equal to a negative 2 or a negative 12. That means that x is equal to a negative 1 or a negative 6. Great, that's our solution. Let's take a look at another problem. And I think we'll call it a video. This is x squared plus 29 is equal to 4x. Well, there's two x terms, so let's get it into standard form by subtracting 4x from both sides. That'll give us x squared minus 4x plus 29 is equal to 0. You know what? Quadratic formula time. I don't see a factorization right away, so I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to fire everything into the quadratic formula and let it develop a solution for me. A is 1, B is a negative 4, C is 29. X is equal to negative 4 plus or minus the square root of the quantity, negative 4 squared, minus 4 times 1 times 29. And then all of this is divided by 2 times 1. Let's start simplifying. Negative 4 will give us a positive 4. So that's positive 4 plus or minus the square root of, I get 16 minus, well, no wonder I didn't see a factorization. Let's see here, 29 times 4, 36, and then 8 plus 3 is 11, 116. And when we subtract 16 from that, we're going to get 100. And this is all divided by 2. Our discriminant is negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 100. No wonder I didn't see a factorization. That's x. Can we simplify this? Of course we can. This right here, this is the square root of 100 times I. This is 10i. So x is going to be 4 divided by 2 plus or minus 10 divided by 2 I. X is going to be equal to 2 plus or minus 5i. I think that is just a great way to write that answer with the stacked plus or minus. That's just fine. We could separate it out as 2 plus 5i, comma 2 minus 5i. And indeed, I think a lot of times doing the homework, it's going to want it like that, but just writing colloquially plus or minus is just fine. I think that's enough for this video. I will see you in the next one.